gap and repent on behalf of Caucasian people.
What? Repent on behalf of all Caucasian people? What's going on here? Uh-oh, he picks up the bullhorn. It looks like the organizers is dragging police officers there to bend their knee, repenting for the aggression of the entire white race. Are you kidding me? As police officers are kneeling, as organizers are having their feet washed. What? And as this public foot-washing religious ceremony is underway with the promotion of the mainstream media, with the local police departments participating in it, they are still going around this entire country and arresting people, finding them, throwing them in jail for opening up their businesses. As of course, politicians who stuck sick COVID-19 patients into elderly homes based on their own directives that caused a massive firestorm while they're taking a victory lap for their, quote, success. And if the whole coronavirus scandal has taught you anything, it is that this government is absolutely, totally incompetent for doing the bare minimum, even during what is considered by many a minor event. Same goes for the, quote, medical experts that are now telling you that yes, you can still die and get sick, that it's still, quote, not safe out there, but it's okay if you do die because of our ideology, which we religiously push and support. And with that, along with the mainstream media, they're either extremely reckless or sociopathic in just their own thinking, which of course we're going to be combating here on this independent media organization for as long as we're still somehow magically here, as of course even just exposing a lot of these bigger issues, the bigger war on consciousness that is happening right now, so you don't critically think at all. If you dare to challenge any of that, well, you're going to get the boot or the hammer by the existing technocratic monopoly power structure. So yeah, I know I just went off a big complete tangent, but that's why in this video, we are going to try to have an honest discussion about some of the major issues being discussed right now surrounding disbanding and, quote, defunding local police departments. And we can have these kind of honest intellectual conversations because of your support. One easy way to support us is by using some of the products that we use, which includes things like VPNs. I personally use VPN City, and if you're looking for an extra layer of safety and security online, VPNs are definitely the way to go. If you're looking for streaming services, websites, places and things that you can't do or go to because of ridiculous government restrictions, well, you should definitely check out VPN City. The link will be down below. It is something I personally use and I like, and I think you will too. I think it's definitely fair to say that there is a larger divide and conquer agenda being played out right now in front of our very eyes. Now, obviously, there's a lot of protests happening out there, and of course also a lot of legitimate issues, which you're going to learn about in this video that do deserve to be addressed. But will they be addressed? And sadly, I have to say no, especially with video footage coming out like this, especially from CNN, where the anchor says, well, if we're going to be talking about disbanding the police, what is going to happen when someone comes and robs my house in the middle of the night? Where we have the Minneapolis City Council president saying, well, that's just a place of privilege to be able to call the police. Another idiotic, bastardized, illogical term that we're hearing right now is that, quote, silence is consent. Again, it's clearly not. Of course, a lot of people responding to this article of all these celebritards pushing this idea are responding with, of course, comments about Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein being very happy because, again, this idea is extremely ridiculous. And in my opinion, it's a little bit crazy to see some of these people who argue for disbanding the police also being the same people that are calling to end the Second Amendment in this country, wanting, of course, citizens to be disarmed, as we just recently saw in Michigan, where a police chief was forced to resign after he praised citizens for arming themselves. And again, this is such a weird issue for me because when it comes to government accountability, government atrocities, holding the authorities, holding the police officers accountable, this is something that I've been advocating for many years. But now people need to realize, with it being associated with a cult-like religious dogma, with the support of the mainstream media, with the support of all the multinational globalist corporations out there, the big banks, with the tech monopolies, and even Mitt Romney behind them, this obviously puts me in a strange position where I have no affinity with them at all, but I do believe something does need to be done against the corrupt and power-hungry police departments out there. Now, of course, one of the talking points that we've been hearing is this disbanding of the police. And again, there's a very simple understanding and argument that you could make here that doesn't have anything to do with, of course, privilege of you getting your house broken into. It doesn't mean getting rid of policing altogether. What it means is replacing the officers that are already there, just like the city of Camden, New Jersey did a few years ago in 2013. The city back then in 2012 wanted more police officers but couldn't afford them. The police department was disbanded and replaced with new officers that took the job for a lower pay. And now Camden, even though still a very crime-ridden place, has actually recorded less homicides, 67 in 2012 and 25 in 2019, which some people attribute to this, quote, disbanding of the police, as well as an emphasis on new use of force policies and de-escalation techniques. And where we have the NYPD, an organization that spends a yearly budget of $6 billion with a B dollars on their yearly budget. They have a CIA system, spying, tracking, surveillance database of its citizens, as well as covert agents working all around the world with around 40,000 police officers, and they just stood down when the rioting and looting got its most intense in the city. And then you kind of have to ask yourself, why are we spending $6 billion on a police department that's going to sit back as crime is taking place? And obviously there's corrupt government officials that want to take a part of that budget and redistribute it against other just horrible government services. Again, when you look at government and the services they provide, they are almost always horrible. So instead of just spending the money, how about we don't steal it from its citizens in the first place, which, because of the taxes, because of the regulations, because of the permits, has become exorbitant and unattainable for any person to even make some kind of living in this city. So yes, stop taxing and spending so much money on a police department that wants to play like it's the CIA. Now, those are concepts and ideas that I believe are worthwhile, that they should be considered. There should be a big conversation about this that could potentially lead to an action, but will it? Well, I don't know, because there's a lot of pushback because of the rioting, the looting, the mob mentality that victimized average citizens, that made them victims and destroyed their businesses, which was excused for by the mainstream media, which people said was just, just people blowing off steam, when in reality, when you create victims like this, what do you think they're going to tell you when you say, now we got to disfund and defund the police, and you calling the police is a privilege? As, of course, these riots and these lootings are spreading all over the world, to Belgium, to Sweden, and even in the United Kingdom, even though this situation and protest is totally unrelated to them. This is just mob mentality, criminality, excused for by the establishment, pushing more divide and conquer chaos upon the people. And if we're going to defund the police department, we should also defund the ATF, the IRS, the Department of Education, and all these other big bureaucratic government agencies that are creating more of a problem than they are allegedly solving. Again, there are important issues like the war on drugs, civil asset forfeiture, no-knock warrants, the militarization of police, quotas on tickets that do deserve to be addressed, that do deserve to be ended. But are the politicians that created this problem going to solve it? No. They're stuck in their own cult-like religious fervor of a cancerous ideology that is going to breed more pain on all of us. All with the support of the media that, of course, is cheering on the chaos, cheering on the division, hoping that there's more acts of violence, so we really don't get to the core issue and problems that should be addressed. Again, Look at the mainstream media. Look at the way that they've been treating this. It's absolutely bonkers and absurd and should raise a lot of questions to what is actually happening here. There's a lot of anger towards common, average, fellow men and women of this country for not agreeing on every little aspect, for speaking up, for not speaking up, whatever made up crap people could throw at you, they will. All the while, the true criminals, the true people responsible for it, well, they're just eating popcorn and watching it all unfold in front of them. Again, you make a whole race of people your problem, you will only create more problems. And that's why actions like this need to be called out more than ever for how ridiculous they are. Since many people directing this, they just want a seat at the table so they could continue doing the same exact thing. So yeah, until we all realize that and wake up to the bigger picture of exactly what's happening here and stop seeing each other as the enemy, well, we're just going to keep repeating the same asinine cycles that keep happening every 4 years as a ploy to, of course, use you for the benefit of others. That's my take. That's my opinion of exactly what is happening here. If you think I am wrong, let me know down in the comment section below. I'm always open to constructive criticism. I'm always open to a debate, to seeing things from a different angle and perspective. My mind is open, and I hope yours is too, because that's the only way that we could truly move forward past this in a positive direction. Without you, I wouldn't be here. Love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on WeAreChange.org. And share this video. It's more important than ever.